Hey everyone, next up on our list of SOTA Street Fighter figure reviews is Fei Long, another user requested figure. Not really one of my favorite figures, but I'll go ahead and explain why that is as we go through the review. I'm going to use the Player 1 version as the basis for the review. I'll show you the other versions, but they're all just paint variants, so I don't need to go into too much detail about them. The head you see on here is the alternate head, the yelling Bruce Lee type of O face. This is the regular head. Mine's got some paint scratch on there, but that's the head. They swap out pretty well. They pop off pretty easy. He's got a total of 5 different hands. These hands that you see on him right now are the nunchuck hands. Nunchucks fit in there pretty well. There's a nice little groove for them so you can hold them nice and tightly. They do have a real chain on them, real metal chain. So they're a pretty nice accessory. He holds them really nicely. They look nice for display. Um, he has a pointing hand or a like come over here type of finger or a tickling finger if you want to tickle somebody, and then also 2 fists. Those are his various accessories. Let's go ahead and get into the figure. The paint app's decent. There's a lot of shading on the skin parts. Only problem is the shading doesn't go underneath wherever the joint was while the figure was being painted. So as you can see right there, there's there's kind of a blank spot. Some of the parts of the hands don't have any shading on them, but aside from that, it's pretty good. He looks nice. He's got a really nice paint app. The eyes are really detailed. Let's see how close we can get and show you. Go in his mouth. All right, there we go. So he's got nice detail. You can see his teeth are painted in his mouth. His eyes look really nice. So the paint app's good on the top half of the figure. Bottom half of the figure, not so much. No matter which version you have, the pants are all just one solid color. The white parts on the feet are barely painted enough so that you can see the black all the way through on every version of it. And then the shoes are all black and very plain looking. The sculpt on the pants is okay. Sculpt on the whole upper half is good, but the feet are just really kind of floppy and not real good. I know that's the type of shoes he's wearing. They're supposed to look like that, but it just doesn't translate very well on the figure. They could have done it a little bit better. Let me go through all the different colors of the pants. That's the only difference in the variants, really. First, we have the GameStop exclusive. He's got the grayish, tannish beige pants on. Same upper body, but he's got the gray pants. Then we have the yellow version, a little harder to find. Well, the gray one's really hard to find, but the yellow one's harder than the blue and the red. Everything's the same except for the color of the pants again. Here's the blue version. Same thing, no difference. And then the red version. This one, maybe it's just mine, but his upper body was shaded a little darker and a little bit more red coloring. So maybe all the red pants have that. Maybe mine just got that on accident. I don't know. But other than that, it's just the red pants. And as you can see, it's kind of like looks like he got sunburned for parts, and then he doesn't have any there at all. So shading's not the best, but it is there. Now here's my biggest complaint about the figure. His joints are really flimsy. His hip joints are bad. His ankle joints, his foot joints are really bad. His knees are nice and tight, but without the ankle and the hips, it's really hard to pose him. You can find the right balance and get him in a nice pose. And once you do that, he looks pretty nice. He's a good display figure. Goes nicely with the rest of the SOTA Street Fighter figures. But it's just that finding that right pose and the right angle for everything to balance just right becomes a problem. So aside from that, it's a good figure. Depends how much trouble you want to go into posing him. That's a pretty simple pose, and it's working, so I could just display him like that, and that's fine. So it's not a bad figure. It's just kind of flimsy, kind of weak, and he's relatively thin. There's not a whole lot of plastic to him, so he's kind of one of the more average figures, I guess, from the line. There's nothing about him that screams you need to get every variant. I just did that because I'm trying to complete the collection. So if you like Fei Long, pick it up. If you're trying to get at least one figure of every character, then pick him up. But if you're not a Street Fighter fan or not a die-hard Fei Long fan, don't really need to get this figure if you're just picking up cool figures. This probably isn't going to make the list. It's got all the same articulation as everybody else. He does have the extra arm articulation. A lot of the guys don't have the double joints. He does, and he's got the same joints as everyone else at every other part of his body. So there you go. There's Fei Long and all of his variants. If you like Fei Long, pick it up. If you don't, or if you're not a Street Fighter fan, probably go ahead and give this one a pass. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Street Fighter reviews, more Transformer reviews, and some more custom figures. In the meantime, keep collecting.